America's for the Americans, Eugenio Espejo once stated. Considered one of the most important intellectuals of Latin America during the 18th century, Francisco Javier Eugenio de Santa Cruz y Espejo became a doctor, writer, lawyer, polemicist, and physician. When he was a child, his first letters were taught by his father Luis de la Cruz Chusing, born in Cajamarca, who learned how to read from Luis Benítez de la Torre and worked as a medical assistant for José de Rosario. His mother was María Catalina Aldaz, known to be mulata from Quito, Juan Pablo de la Cruz, who became a priest, and Manuela de Santa Cruz, known to be a scientist, was his two siblings. Espejo was born in the royal audience of Quito in February 21, 1747. After learning the teachings of his father, he studied in a Catholic school for poor kids. He became a student of the Universidad de Santo Tomás Aquino to learn medicine and law. However, due to his mestizo origin, he was racially discriminated. Finally, he obtained his title as doctor in 1767. 11 years later, his first work published was called Nuevo Luciano de Quito, in which he criticized the terrible conditions people had to live through in the royal audience of Quito. Usually used pseudonyms, fake names, to design and provide anonymity to his writings, such as Moisés Blancardo in the book called Marco Porcio Cantón. In 1791, he became the director of the first public library once under the power of the Jesuits. Afterwards, in January 5, 1792, Eugenio Espejo wrote the first newspaper of Ecuador named Primicias de la Cultura de Quito, which was only printed 7 times. As a lawyer, Espejo attacked his enemies, the Spanish authority, constantly, and defended the clergy of Riobamba from Ignacio Barrento, a chief tax collector. He always favored equality and defended the rights of Indians and women. Eugenio Espejo claimed, ¿Por qué los indios han de merecer que pensemos siniestramente de sus prácticas e intenciones? Ellos son racionales como todos los hombres. As a man interested in economy, he worried about the welfare of people and for commercial and agricultural reforms. Anyhow, he was influenced by the Enlightenment ideals and his liberalist and progressive thoughts developed. For this reason, la Sociedad Patriótica de Amigos del País de Quito was formed in November 1791, with the help of his friend Juan Pío Montúfar and influence of Conde de la Casa Gijón. 24 members of this association attended education, agricultural, political, economical problems, and even scientific advances. Later, to treat economic standards, the School of Concord was created.
Eugenio Espejo showed his knowledge of the latest scientific advances, yet before Pasteur. He even improved the public health of the colonies by publishing on November 11, 1785, his work called Reflections about a Method to Preserve the People from Smallpox. In this case, he criticized health conditions in the audience were terrible. He said, El gobierno jamás se ha preocupado de atender las necesidades de los gobernados. As a result, he earned more enemies than prestige, and in 1785 he had to exile to Lima. Dr. Espejo was also known as the precursor of revolution and independence of Quito. Besides his own motivation for freedom, he was accused of favoring the rebellion of Tupac Amaru II in Peru. In one of his books called El Retrato de Golilla, 1781, Charles III was attacked. Espejo insultaba al rey llamándolo entre otras cosas rey de barajas y se mofaba del Marqués de Sonora, secretario del Despacho Universal de Indias. All his liberalist ideals, plastered in paper, changed the structure of the colonial Quito. First appear in the text called Marco Porcio Cantón 1780 and La Ciencia Blancardina 1781. He was frequently accused for making posters and graffiti against colonial authorities and clergy. Besides, Espejo used to represent the limited social classes due to his recognition of human rights and opposition to the divine power of kings. He had an unreligious spirit, so he promoted nationalism of ecclesiastical institutions.
By editing the first newspaper and 17 works of his own, he motivated liberty to the revolutionaries of August 10, 1809.
In the night of October 4, 1794, Eugenio Espejo was accused for placing banners in the crosses of the churches of Quito, with the words written, "Al amparo de la cruz, sed libres, conseguir la gloria y la felicidad." He was imprisoned for committing crimes against God and the Spanish crown.
In December 28, 1795, he died in the hands of his sister Manuela de Santa Cruz due to dysentery.